Hello, my name is Laszlo Leeaphon and I am incredibly sleep deprived. You clicked on this video, which means you're my new friend. And so strap in, cause we're gonna rank every skyscraper in Chicago. Yeah.
First off, you might be wondering why I'm doing this. Well, I've always had a love for skyscrapers. To me, they represent the incredible potential of humanity. We looked at some grass plains near a convenient body of water and just put tall things on it. And few other cities have truly tapped the potential of skyscrapers quite like Chicago, not just in building some of the tallest, but also some of the most beautiful.
So yeah, I'm gonna rank every skyscraper in Chicago. But first I'm gonna preface that I am not an expert at all at this. I do not study architecture. I'm just some idiot with a camera and a few subscribers. So this ranking is not based on any educated understanding of these buildings. This is a shallow list based entirely upon whether or not I like to look at them when I cross the street.
Also, my definition of skyscraper is every building that's put on Wikipedia's list of tallest buildings in Chicago, because technically speaking, there are 1,397 skyscrapers in Chicago, and I don't want to look at that many buildings, and you certainly don't want to watch someone rank that many buildings, so we're doing each other a favor here. Alright, I think that's all I need to say. These are all 87 of the tallest buildings in Chicago, ranked worst to best.
And the ILL Pictures certified worst skyscraper in Chicago is...
Number 87, the Richard J. Daley Center. Built in 1965 and later named after longtime Chicago Mayor Richard J. Daley, it's a government building that includes offices and courtrooms. An interesting note is at the building's entrance lies a giant untitled sculpture made by Pablo Picasso. It's pretty cool, but very undercut by such a boring looking building.
Look, if you want to make a plain brown rectangle building, be my guest. But I mean, this is a skyscraper. Sky is literally not the limit. And it's just like, it's so much wasted potential.
Rectangle skyscrapers are a menace to any skyline, and the saddest part is there are so many big US cities where their landmark in architecture is a rectangle. It's depressing. Number 86, North Pier Apartments.
Oh, good God. Imagine coming back to work to see this.
And keep in mind, if you can afford an apartment in Lakeshore Drive, you have enough money to live literally anywhere else. This building looks so rusty, I get tetanus from looking at it for too long. And it's only 13 years older than I am?
So anyway, these next 5 skyscrapers are also boring rectangles, so let's just get them out of the way.
Number 85, Kluczynski Federal Building. Number 84, North Harbor Tower. Number 83, Water Tower Place. Number 82, Olympia Center. Number 81, 330 North Wabash.
The last of these rectangle skyscrapers was built in 1988, which means, thankfully, they are not reproducing.
Number 80, Aon Center.
Of the 6 Chicago buildings that are over 1,000 feet in height, this is easily my least favorite.
While the other boring rectangle skyscrapers are easily covered by the dense skyline, this one just sticks out like a sore thumb of boringness. Number 79, Leo Burnett Building.
It's kind of depressing to look at, but I like how the sides kind of pop out.
Number 78, Huron Plaza.
Just another boring residential building.
Number 77, Heller International Building.
Just another boring office building.
Number 76, The Park Shore.
I like the green tinted windows, but that's it.
Number 75, 353 North Clark.
It's boring, yeah. Look, I'll admit, I cannot come up with explanations for all of these buildings, okay? So, would you mind if I just speed run through some of these and maybe give a few explanations for some that are interesting? Like, right, it's alright, okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to get a more full depth analysis of any of them, just ask them in the comments. I mean, I won't respond, but somebody will.
Number 74, the Fordham. Number 73, 1 North Wacker. Number 72, BMO Tower. I'll take skyscrapers with blue tinted windows over dull beige skyscrapers any day. Number 71, Millennium Center. Number 70, Grand Plaza 1. Number 69, 155 North Wacker. Number 68, Essex on the Park. Number 67, 1000 Lakeshore Plaza. Number 66, 55 East Erie Street. Number 65, 151 North Franklin. Number 64, Streeter Place. Number 63, 1 Chicago West Tower. I know it's not technically completed yet, but I doubt the architects are gonna out of nowhere make a drastic change to the building's look, so I feel pretty safe putting it here. Number 62, 111 South Wacker Drive. Number 61, 110 North Wacker. Number 60, 1000 M. Number 59, Atwater Apartments. Number 58, River East Center. Number 57, 181 West Madison. Number 56, 200 West Madison Street.
So why are there so many skyscrapers where the name is just the address? I mean, you'd think with the thousands of people working on this gigantic building that they wouldn't hire one person to come up with a name. Hell, I could do it for free. That's the Goobly Building. There you go. That's the Goobly Building. You got it. You got a free name there.
Number 55, The Heritage at Millennium Park. Number 54, Chicago Place. Number 53, Cirrus. Number 52, Optima Signature. The red base and turquoise glass reminds reminds me of an old Lego set I once had, but I do not remember what it was. Number 51, Wolf Point East Tower. Every time I take the Brown line to the Loop, there's this great moment after Merchandise Mart when you cross the Chicago River. If you're sitting on the right, you'll see this cluster of buildings at Wolf Point that are pretty okay looking. If you're sitting on the left, you see a way more amazing spectacle that is the rest of the Riverside buildings. So guess where I usually prefer to sit. Number 50, 1 Chicago East Tower. Number 49, 300 North LaSalle. Number 48, Franklin Center. I feel like I want to like it more than I should. It's got a distinct look to it, but I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. Number 47, The Grant. Number 46, Ontario Center. Number 45, 1 South Dearborn. I like the huge dent at the top. Number 44, Lowe's Hotel Tower. Number 43, Mid-Continental Plaza. Easily my favorite of the rectangle skyscrapers because it's just so ridiculously long. Number 42, Harbor Point, the less good-looking sibling to Lake Point Tower. Number 41, 71 South Wacker. Number 40, Chase Tower. Number 39, Park Tower. Number 38, 1 Bennett Park. Number 37, Salesforce Tower, Chicago.
I remember actually seeing this get constructed in real time. It was just crazy that like such a huge building would be topped out that quickly. But yeah.
Number 36, 3 First National Plaza. Number 35, Grand Thornton Tower. Number 34, Citadel Center. Number 33, CNA Center, or as it's more popularly known, Big Red. Big Red got to be featured in the LEGO Architecture Chicago Skyline set, which is really weird, because like everything else added to the set, like the Sears Tower, the John Hancock Center, the Wrigley Building, the Bean, the bridge where the Dave Matthews Band dumped excrement on a riverboat, those are all very iconic Chicago landmarks. And then there's this building, which, I mean, it looks cool with the red color, but it's not exactly what I'd call an iconic Chicago skyscraper. Number 32, Blue Cross Blue Shield Tower. Sometimes they'll write stuff on the side of the building by lighting up specific floors, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I remember one time the building absolutely failed at spelling out "Thank you, vets." But hey, they tried. Number 31, 150 North Riverside. Number 30, 1 Prudential Plaza. That spire makes up 1/3 of the building's height for some reason, so points for creativity. Number 29, Accenture Tower. Number 28, 190 South LaSalle Street. Number 27, 111. Number 26, Waldorf Astoria, Chicago. Number 24, NBC Tower. I just love buildings with the Art Deco exterior lighting setup. Number 23, The Claire. Number 22, Palmolive Building. Number 21, Boeing International Headquarters.
Alright, so now that we're at the top 20, I'm actually gonna bother giving analysis for each building.
Number 20, 77 West Wacker Drive. I really love the exterior pattern. The contrast of white walls and blue glass reminds me of stuff I'd make in Minecraft. Number 19, Lake Point Tower. The unique Y shape really makes this building stand out. A way better lakeside residential building than North Pier Apartments, which according to Wikipedia is described by architects as a masculine counterpart to the curvaceous Lake Point Tower nearby. Architects have to stop being horny for buildings. Women have a sleek, sharply designed work of art. Men have an ugly-ass rusty rectangle. Number 18, Aqua. I know people hate overly ambitious building designs, but I really like this one, because it's a cool design without trying too hard. Fun fact, this was for a while the tallest building made by a woman, Jean Gang. It was surpassed very recently by another skyscraper of her work, which we'll get to later. Number 17, Civic Opera Building. So not only does this wonderful Art Deco building contain a humongous opera house, they also just decided to add office spaces above it. Like, imagine going to work knowing there's an opera house just below your feet. That's crazy. Number 16, River Point. Of the Wolf Point skyscrapers, this one's easily my favorite. Apparently the arch at the bottom of the building was designed due to the CTA blue line running under it. I like how they also complement the arch at the base with an arch at the top. Number 15, Crane Communications Building. Also referred to as the Vagina Building, apparently. Its tilted rhombus ceiling makes for such an easily recognizable skyscraper, but good god, why are architects so horny? Number 14, The Legacy at Millennium Park. It's modern, it's sleek. Sometimes it'll even just blend into the sky due to how reflective the glass is. I really like it. Number 13, 340 on the Park. This building just reminds me of something from Lego City, and I love it for that. Number 12, Chicago Temple Building. That steeple is absolutely wild. Beats any church in your hometown. Number 11, One Museum Park. This looks like the headquarters of an evil tech company in a superhero movie. I love it.
Now we're at the top 10, the best of the best.
Number 10, 900 North Michigan. I can't believe they actually built Duloc Castle in Chicago. Side note, this skyscraper contains a large shopping mall where absolutely nothing is affordable. There are rugs in there that cost $200,000.
Well, you know, if each of my loyal 282 subscribers only chipped in $700.
Number 9, 311 South Wacker Drive. This is such a cool looking building. On the top, there's this giant cylinder that at night glows very bright. It's a very classic skyscraper design. Also, this is irrelevant, but on the Wikipedia page, there's a photo with the photographer's thumb in the picture. Number 8, Nema, Chicago. This looks like a building I'd make in Minecraft on creative mode.
Well, you know, if I had all the money in the world, I'd buy an apartment there. Mostly because all the big museums are nearby.
Number 7, Trump International Hotel and Tower.
Okay, hear me out, okay? So I'm aware that this building is named after the worst post-Civil War president. I'm aware that this very noticeable building in the Chicago skyline is just a glaring reminder of how absolutely moronic people can be in this country. But it's a beautiful building.
I mean, look at this completely without the context of who owns it. You cannot deny this incredible design made by Adrian Smith, who also designed the Burj Khalifa. Honestly, I would have put it higher on the list if it weren't for the gigantic Trump sign on the building, proudly mooning the public and ruining the otherwise perfect riverside view.
I mean, you never know, maybe in a few years the Trump organization goes bankrupt and then they have to sell the building to someone else. But, you know, until then, I will happily give this beautiful building a number 7 spot.
Also, fun fact, while this was still under construction, the Trump Tower is used as the setting for the final confrontation scene between Batman and the Joker in The Dark Knight. Now, if that doesn't say a lot about society, I don't know what does. Number 6, Chicago Board of Trade Building.
A nearly century-old icon of the city.
It's got that incredible Art Deco design with the theatrical exterior lighting. There's this incredible 30-foot statue at the top. And speaking of the Dark Knight, that street that leads to the Board of Trade building is the site of that truck flip scene that all those pretentious film bros mention whenever they want to complain about CGI. Number 5, the Sears Tower.
Oh, mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. The tallest building in Chicago, and was once the tallest building in the world for 2 decades.
This building stands at an insane 1,729 feet in height. Even with 86 other gigantic buildings in the city, the Sears Tower still easily towers over all of them. Even far out on the edge of the suburbs, you can still see the Sears Tower.
But its status as an icon of Chicago is not just because of its incredible height. I mean, the Aon Center used to be the tallest building in Chicago, and nobody cares about that building.
First off, its dark black color scheme really helps it stand out amongst a skyline of beige and blue. Not to mention, the building has a very interesting bundled tube structure where it's made of essentially 9 buildings of differing height put together. And then there's the gigantic white antennas, which contrast the rest of the building and look really cool.
It's all around a wonderful building that I'm really glad I get to see basically every day.
Number 4, John Hancock Center.
While not as tall as the Sears Tower, John Hancock's almost just as iconic to the city of Chicago.
It's honestly a tie, but I think I like the John Hancock Tower just a little bit more because while there are some angles of the Sears Tower that are more glamorous than others, John Hancock is consistently spectacle no matter where you look at it. It's got this amazing X bracing on its facade. There are these 2 massive antennas that are its defining feature. This building looks like some Death Star droid in Star Wars, and this preceded Star Wars by 8 years.
Best of all, there's a cheesecake factory at the bottom. What more can you say?
Number 3, Marina City.
These are technically 2 buildings, but they're exactly the same in design.
Regardless, these are some of the weirdest buildings to ever exist. They were built in the 60s at a time when most architects didn't really try hard, and yet they decided to make these twin corn-on-the-cob looking buildings that have become the defining feature of the Riverside view. A whole lot of the building height is dedicated to open parking spaces, which, I mean, I personally wouldn't trust my parking skills enough if the only thing keeping me from plunging to certain death is a small wired fence. They were used as album art for a band I've never heard of, but I mean, good choice.
I mean, I just love looking at these buildings so much.
Number 2, St. Regis, Chicago.
This is now the tallest building in the world designed by a woman. Which I'm surprised it's not a shopping center. Am I right, guys? Yeah, that's sexism.
But no, seriously, what a magnificent building. It's only 3 years old, but I know it's going to become a defining feature of Chicago.
And I once got stuck on the 50th floor of the building for about an hour. I will not elaborate, you figure it out. And now before we get to the number 1 pick, let me mention a few honorable mentions. Yeah.
First off, the Wrigley Building and the Tribune Tower, true landmarks of Chicago that unfortunately weren't tall enough for Wikipedia, but I would have put them pretty high if they were. Then there's the DePaul Center Building, not technically a skyscraper, but it's tall for a campus building, and I love studying in it. There's a Barnes & Noble, and at the top there's an outdoor dining area where you can see the entire skyline. It's amazing. And finally, the Bean.
Now I know some people will be complaining that the Bean is not even a building, let alone a skyscraper. And you're wrong. You see, what you think is the Bean is actually just what's on the surface. See, far below underground, there is a long tunnel that leads directly to this evil lair containing all of the world's Vanta Black supply. Okay, but enough messing about. Let's get to it. The best skyscraper in all of Chicago. And that building is
2 Prudential Plaza.
God, this building is so amazing.
It's an Art Deco revival, but also doesn't look like any Art Deco building of the era. It's got an incredible setback design at the top that leads up to the spire. This building was also featured in the best film of all time, Richie Rich. It evokes the likes of the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building as a truly everlasting architectural design.
So yeah, 2 Prudential Plaza is my favorite skyscraper in Chicago. Well, congratulations to those who watched it to the end. You clearly have way too much time on your hands. If you liked the video though, a subscription to ILL Pictures would be very much appreciated. If this is your first ILL Pictures video, I am very sorry. Nothing else on this channel so far has anything to do with skyscrapers. I mean, I guess there's like Chicago at Dusk. There, yeah, watch that. But if you bully me enough, I don't know, I'll make another skyscraper ranking video. This is my channel. I don't have to be consistent with content. You're the one that's watching on the toilet.